to the Clout Tokens versus Etherian Esports on none other than Train, and my goodness, I love the Clout Tokens pictures. They push. Yeah, they're pushing into the B site. We'll see who has the appropriate meme face as
Austin.
Nice 2 entries. Now the CTs on the retake. They do have a kit, and all your CTs are basically, they're going to be fighting east to the west now across this yard. You got 2 Ts that are hunkered in behind the default position, with one working a super long flank, actually. So that's going to be interesting to see that one come to fruition. Maybe the guys on the front line are able to do it anyways. OC is able to turn and get the at least correct response there. But all the trades are super efficient. And the Clout Tokens take a pistol.
Really excited to see Etherian in the
Stalin
server.
there. Still was a mosaic of Stalin.
Did you never notice that before?
Was it Stalin or?
That was Lenin.
I was about to say that wasn't Stalin.
No, Stalin was a little more hairy and
Stalin.
mustache.
I was about to say Stalin has a far superior mustache than Lenin.
But
does.
Lenin has the far superior chrome dome.
He does.
The baldness, the lack of hair. That was solid Lenin. I'm excited to see Etherian in the server. I haven't really gotten to see as much of them playing, but I had a nice conversation with Infinite, with Gage Green, about the team and about him as a player, and that'll be coming out at some point post this tournament, but very excited to see it put into effect. This round, it's probably going to be a bit of a wash, not a lot of investment. MOTM has himself a scout, and Infinite's got some armor and a CZ, but otherwise, not a lot to work with. The Deagle, maybe at range from Strings, can get something found here, but Strings holding a bit of an angle. He's expecting someone to push way far up. A little bit of an interesting off angle to hold. Yeah,
well, I mean, they did invest decently into here. There was head armor on a couple players. You got a scout, you got Deagles out there. So it is going to, obviously Etherian's not going to have weapons in the 3rd round, but when the 4th round does come around, their investments in this round are going to have an impact. So that's why they're trying to save and hold on to this head armor, hold on to this scout, hold on to this Deagle, and at least push this into the next round. And at the same time, they're also interfering with Clout Tokens' income. Those Mac 10s aren't finding the kills that you would hope to get, especially with 3 Mac 10s and a Galil. The Galil can carry over, obviously, into the rifle round. The Mac 10s, not so much. But if you have enough Mac 10s and you have fewer casualties than normal, you can use those Mac 10s in the rifle round just to try and take economic damage against Etherian. It's already an amazing start for the T side on a heavily CT-sided map. If they can manage to hamper and hamstring the Etherian's economy early and consistently, you'll actually see a divide as to how the map usually plays out 10-5. But this could be 7-8. 9-6 can happen.
So scout saved through. MOTM going to be playing with that around the outer site, trying to find himself an angle, pop ahead like a ripe melon. And it's going to be sort of a gamble stack towards A. They're starting to drift away from that, move more players towards B. But honestly, not a terrible idea considering how little they've brought into the round. A Deagle, 1 set of armor, a scout, and a CZ. Bare bones investment just to get those guns out. Squishy. Very passive. ESEA Clout Tokens in general playing this round very passively, patient, waiting for that push from what they know to be pretty much bare pistols. They know there was some weaponry saved through. They may not realize exactly what it was.
You got Infinite that's pushed through T-Con, and he's reading the information. He hasn't heard anybody above him, but that intel has pushed the remainder of his team into the B site. So at least they're putting their eggs in the correct basket to be able to correctly defend this. The smoke for the sidewalk gives them enough room to be able to get to the site itself. Nice dink from OC. And it'll be finished up by Ben. And the sacrifices are there, enough so that it's a 3-on-3 right now. Still, the T's hold a ton of utility, and they themselves have a flank to work to the backside soon enough.
I love this angle from Strings. It's kind of that situation where you need to hit a head, but the head's the only thing exposed, so you're going to be shooting for it anyways. Now it's Etherian, it's Infinite, who's actually gotten into the back line. He's got himself a rifle. This is suddenly viable. He's got the armor as well. He's picked up a molly to cover off a position. He'll put that to immediate effect, block off one side of the train, knows they can only come from the other. He'll get the kill. I don't think Mirari's in position to deny this, but he may not realize, and no kit, Infinite's just going to fall away. Does the damage, keeps 4 players off of the server.
Hit and run.
Mirari's going to die to the bomb, too.
Oh, it's going to be, he's fine.
He's dead.
He's fine.
Oh, you're better at this than I am, apparently.
I've died to a couple bombs here and there.
Once upon a time.
But yeah, Mirari was making the right move to try and pursue, to take that weapon away. It was like a hit-and-run tactic with that Galil. Grab it, because you're going to have guns in this round anyway. So do damage to Cloud Tokens as best as you can. And they do. Got an additional one out of there, and they get the Galil in this round. Not the greatest of weapons. Hopefully, Etherian are able to rely on the crutch, if you call it a crutch, the double ops. I mean,
The DOP.
The DOPs? Is that what you're calling them?
The DOPs. I decided that right now in this moment.
I'm gonna let you copyright that.
DOPs.
I'm not gonna follow through. I don't know if it's got too much success in the future.
Rocking the DOP. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. They're going to rock the dump. Morari, though, with his single op, his SOP, is going to be trying something. He's got a bit of a SOP story, so to speak. But he's going to get flashed out, pushed off the angle. No exchange here, but a great peek from Infinite. He gets one and great damage on a Morari. If he'd gotten that kill, that would have been enormous in terms of swinging the round.
If he had still any other gun other than the Galil.
Yeah. Still big impact considering he had the Galil, the saved over gun.
Yeah, that's true.
Helps Etherian majorly going into this, especially since it's presumably going to make Morari a lot less bold with that big green gun once he moves forward. So now hesitation from ESEA Clout tokens. They're setting up for that A take. They're prepping the smokes for outer yard, and now they will fly over. So the execution's going to come in. Morari still trying to lead the way despite the low HP, trying to clear it with his big gun, but he's going to lose the duel. MOTM takes it instead. Now it's all the frags coming in, and they all favor Etherian. Smokes are out, but it won't matter if there's no bodies to push behind them. Sawston going to get himself an easy one, but somehow hasn't found the frag onto strings. Time just not quite working out. Now he's surrounded. He's shot in the face, and the double ops ring out at exactly the same time for stereo frags on the outer site.
You can see Sawston's the land setting is making him a little nervous.
He's anticipating the lag,
you could
the delay.
You could see the jittering in the movements. His mouse cursor was you could definitely see the fear. If you will.
In his eyes.
Fear in his eyes. I'd like to actually see that in a couple more rounds to see if it continues. But he was in a high-pressure situation. So the first round for Etherian is marked to the board. And they can quickly break the back of Clout Token's economy with another healthy run. And it's interesting with the double op setup this early. Single op you can get away with, but Train is definitely the map you can be most comfortable with if you have a second opper on the team. And if I'm not mistaken, Ben can wield the op out there too, if he's forced.
I think a lot of these players are pretty comfortable picking it up. I don't know that they necessarily want to be playing with it on the 3-op, but MOTM and OC putting them to great effect. OC, of course, quite a deadly op on his own right. The flicks, and MOTM, Mr. Wide Peak, out on the server.
Same hit. They got the bomb train smoke. Coming in, Infinite's got the first two, actually, before he's traded out. Sawton's going straight in. He's close enough to that op to kind of nullify Modem's powerhouse. But the bomb's been dropped. It looks like it's over by the E-box side. And there is a little bit of an advantage here with Richie delayed through Ivy side. So he's going to get the first frag and the second. I'm going to say it's a little advantage. It's now a huge advantage. It's given space for Sawston to find a kill, and it's only Ben. And he gets clothesline entering back through Z connector. So a delayed push by just a lowly little CZ in through Ivy. Catches the Etherian guys sleeping.
Say that round was easy peasy for CZ. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself.
Yeah, I'm interested. We can get a psychologist to come in. And
I just that phrase, that sentence, just bumped my self-loathing like 2 notches up.
It's probably mutual.
So Squishy and Jack going to be picking up Jackie or Jack. Jack going to be picking up the Mac 10s to try and explore here, farm up a little bit of cash. It's going to be a 5-man push out Ivy, and they'll work so far. Morari already eliminated. Nate comes in to obliterate them, and now the Molly comes down to block them off as well. Good jump up onto the bin though from Ben Lead. Hops through flames, picks up the rifle, and now 2 rifles down. This is and the bomb's all the way back. They haven't discovered it. Very fortunate for the T side that the TCTs did not discover the bomb there.
My palms are up. How do pistols go across T lane to Ivy, and the pistols go all the way up in your face without somebody getting shot?
Chaos and Discord.
It was one bad flash, because you're not used to throwing pop flashes all the way towards that back train.
That's not an angle you usually get pushed.
Yeah, but the CTs now own 2 rifles. They've recovered one of the M4s. They have Modem with armor, and they've recovered a Mac 10 as well. So Squishy and Sawston are alone. Together, they will go into the A site, and it looks like they will so far correctly call at least to plant the bomb. But again, at range, chip damage done. More than chip damage. Squishy dropped down into the low 50s. Look at that mustache on OC. Did you see that?
It's not. That's not OC. That's I think it's Vanity. I'm trying to remember because I cast a match where they were playing each other, and so they both swapped to mustache pics of each other. It was the 2 operas. I think it was Vanity.
What an eco round to win.
That's brilliant.
Because your T side just reset your economy for the CTs early, and you were going to end up seeing a 5-1, which is all the T rounds you really need to get on Train. That's it. You get 5, and everything beyond that is icing on the cake. So Etherian's able to stop that and win an eco, rebounding their own economy, and at the same time breaking the ankles of Clout tokens. So they're down to Glocks, a CZ, and a P250 looking for a quick bomb plant, I think.
Ooh, right down the ladder and right into death as Infinite rains fire out of the tiny box he holds in his hands. It's a MAC-10, and he's the spray down anti-eco gun. Put to great effect early on. They're going to try and regress towards ladder, not quite willing to give up this fight yet, but now they'll move right on to B, and it's a pretty backwards hold. If Ben goes down, he will leave the site open, but he will not go down. He will stand his ground and find 3. So a quick eco round. Infinite on the flank does clean up the last, and it's swiftly into the 8th round. 3 rounds for Etherian. Once they got that gun and the eco, really that eco, that's going to change momentum in a major way.
So they go for the rebuy, and they did not get a bomb plant here. So there's 2 flashes and maybe a smoke or a Molotov that is unpurchased. But 3 Molotovs in play allows them to strike the B site, but only 3 smokes. So not the greatest of A executes if they want to be able to do that. So what you need to do if you want to hit A with just 3 smokes, you're going to get a bomb train smoke, a Z smoke, and maybe a sandwich smoke, but you're exposed on some of those angles. So how do you play that? Mirari with a nice shot.
I thought Richie had that for a second.
Yeah, that would have been pretty crazy on a drive-by. But they've been playing this little – it's a pretty standard tactic. If you're an Opera on the CT side where Strings' position is right now, if you shoot at the first target that jumps across, you're getting rope-a-doped because there's an Opera that's about to peek you from the trash bin.
All day, every day. This time it's going to be, MOTM might come around this corner and find Sawston right in his face. If he doesn't flash in, this could be devastating. He will peek it, but he'll somehow find the kill off the back of a molly. I think Sawston was trying to get back up the ladder and survive. Jack jumping back into the fire, do himself a little damage.
It must have been a molly that came in. They peeked the Molotov with the reduced team damage from a Molotov. They can be comfortable enough and bold enough to be able to force those Ts into a retreating stance up the ladder and nets you a kill. Evens up the scoreline to 4-4 right now. Not the scoreline, but the manpower available. But a heavier A stack is the correct call right now for Etherian.
They've been pretty comfortable playing this, just leaving 1 on 2. Handle it, and right in his face, Bentley. Good to get 1 before trading. Actually, Ben from on office, I'm mistaken. He gets 2, 3 before he goes down. 4. Ben coming up huge.
Yeah, Ben does that.
The IGL, the fragger.
We've always debated if he's actually the IGL.
He is.
He is?
I spoke to Infinite about it.
Okay.
They brought him in largely
That's
to
actually,
IGL.
that's crazy. Because in ESEA, for the past week and a half, 2 weeks, it's been a completely different Ben. Ben's always been good, but Ben has been an animal for the past 2 weeks. So he has changed his DPI, or I don't know, changed settings. But he is on
bought a new keyboard.
Fire. Got a new keyboard. Maybe a Cougar
chair.
keyboard.
Yeah,
Cougar chair.
Cougar keyboard, Cougar chair. Ladies and gentlemen, if your game's lacking a little bit of luster, pick up one of those new Cougar mice. Suddenly you'll be fragging like Ben Lee.
Ben. Just call him Ben.
Ben.
From Ben's anime team from seasons past.
Anime team?
This is a really common one-way. Should be pretty obvious. No, definitely obvious now. OC misses the first shot, and he'll lob a Molotov directly into the smoke, which was still there. So way too early. And you got presence on Ivy, and you got presence now dropping out of ladder room from the D-box side. So they'll try and pinch onto this site with what little firepower they've got. Only Mirari's left. He's got 1 frag. It's Ben down. They've at least got a solution for him. But Ben gets a 4K the previous round, and Strings gets a 4K here.
Ben's a monster so far, 7-6 pretty early on. I mean, it's not insane in the kill totals any which way, but this has been very much a back-and-forth side. The CT's hoping to put a little bit of daylight between them and the T side, put the ESEA Clout tokens in the ESEA bin, so to speak. But Etherian, they need that daylight. 4 to 5. A pivotal round here. We've already seen 2 buy-ups. They've got the comfortable money to get AKs up on the rest. Utility as well. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. So what wrinkle do they pull out in this round, Senor Topical?
I don't know. I think Etherian, even though they're technically ahead right now, they need to be playing a little bit of catch-up and really clean up. It was such a hot start for the Clout tokens on their T side out of the gates that Etherian are basically playing catch-up right now. If it even ends up 4-11 and you end up with a pretty successful CT side, that's because Etherian have been playing catch-up and successfully doing so. But Clout Tokens must be happy with how they're standing now. They get those early wins, and obviously the CTs are going to end up getting victories on you in really consecutive fashion. But what that ends up doing is they get those rounds that they've won out of the way early, like successfully, and now where you end up having struggles against your CT side, your CTs have ops, they have rifles, they have everything else, you're allowing the loss bonus to mount up. And rather than taking those victories that Clout were able to get early and scattering him in, where you get eco reset and you win one, lose what, back and forth, whatever have you, that's favorable to the Clout Tokens from here on out, no matter what.
So the tack pause comes in. We're assuming it's tack. It might be tech. Richie hasn't bought up. Ben as well on the other side. That might be it. There's some chatting going on in console, so I'm going to hope that that's the unpause coming through, and we'll be right back into rolling. There's the pause, unpause. So double op still out. Infinite and OC poting those big green guns in the moment. MOTM moving away from it. Maybe a spawn-based decision. We'll see what happens, or maybe just a placement swap. A spot swap, so to speak. Mirari still, he's been effective with this op, but it's been difficult to build rounds off the back of his op picks.
It's actually
we'll see
interesting enough. Etherian haven't played Train at all this season in ESEA Mountain Dew League. They will in the upcoming weeks, which is scheduled, but there might be some at least newfound confidence in it, that it's made its way through the pick ban phase. We'll see Ben go aggressive here. That's an interesting smoke to see. Did that come from the CT side through the window?
Has to have been teased.
Why would the T's drop a smoke there? See? He's going to throw another one. Now it's obvious that he's here. I hear chat going off. We might have a match medic.
Yep, someone just dropped out. PC down. No frags out, so the
no
round's
damage,
going to be
no nothing,
match medic.
no problem. An easy reset.
No problem.
No problem, friend. But yeah, I'm looking at the history right now, and lots of Infernos. This is for Etherian season so far. Lots of Mirages. A couple of overpasses scattered in there, but not a single train.
Not a single train, eh?
Which might, I mean...
Do you think they've been training for this map?
I don't, they must be, because they're scheduled to play Swole Patrol, as well as No Tenemos Nada in the coming weeks.
Are they playing out the round? I guess they're playing out the round.
Don't know why. Maybe the round may have to conclude for them to go back into the match medic. But
still, they're playing
seriously. Okay, 4v5. Only Sawston's left. Sawston is a man's man.
A man among men. A man amidst a legend, but he does not have the bomb.
He can't overcome flames and fire that is currently consuming the bomb.
Needs himself a smoke, and in this moment he cannot, and so time will expire. Unable to plant bomb. He's going to go for another frag. Wins it.
If he had a red tunic there, he'd been able to recover that bomb.
So now is the match reset.
You know what those columns were at the very end of the round? Op T, op T, op T, op go.
Go. Get it. Get. Oh.
Sorry.
Oh.
My brain.
Oh.
So we'll find out what ends up going on here.
I got a little information from Etherian in the chat. They say they haven't played Train after losing to Splice and Complexity in the qualifiers. I guess they got whooped on Train and decided that ultimately it was time to move away.
Do you want to give a shout out to the person that gave you that information?
It was Etherian.
Oh.
Etherian GG. Shout outs to the team that we're watching currently.
I was about to say.
The org behind the team for giving me that info.
If you're going to be a reporter, you got to
cite my sources.
Yeah.
Source to Etherian.
They might know what they're referencing here.
They might have some inside track. Etherian, do you have sources?
Who's
your informant?
What's Etherian's Twitter guy?
Etherian GG.
No, I mean, doesn't the Twitter guy have a name?
The Create owns it. I don't know if he's using.
That's the Create. Too. That's it. The Create was who I was aiming for.
Yeah.
Hopelessly fishing for. So we'll end up seeing what develops here. If our admins will give us piping in the ear, they can tell us whether they just needed to play that round out, but they played that one seriously. So it would be unfortunate, but I saw that there was a call to at least stop the round or stop play before any damage had been done. That's usually how it plays out.
Usually. I assume we're going to have a matchmatic reset come in here. Maybe they're trying to flag down an admin, figure out what's going on. Wanted to go ahead and play it through.
Shouldn't be too hard to flag down an admin considering it's on the main stream, you know. Big shout out to Rusty Bodega. He's our guy.
He's a solid man.
He owes me he has to punch me now. He just got me.